This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Gemini and Gemini rising, welcome to your horoscope for the full moon in Aquarius happening on August the 12th. At 11:36 a.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. So, how was your triple conjunction, Gemini? If you cast your mind back to the last horoscope that I gave, I talked about that moment between Mars and Uranus and the North Node and their collective grouping and the potential for some sort of combustion, some sort of activation or revolution or forward movement in some way. For you, this was all playing out in the 12th house. So I'm asking in terms of your unconsciousness. Perhaps there was something in dreams that happened to you that gave you a greater perspective or a greater direction or burned a trail, blazed a trail for the next place that you need to be. I wonder if there was something that you can't deny any longer. I wonder if there's something, if there was access to other energies or if there was movement or relationship that was going on in your dreamscape. It's been a highlight for you for some time, Gemini, and I don't think that Uranus is going to move until 2026 or something like that. So as far as revolution in your unconsciousness, as far as your access to the collective through those spaces, as far as your dreamland adventures might go, there's plenty of time to keep revolutionizing, to keep flipping the table time and again. This conjunction may have been quite, as I said before, like combustive or flammable. So if there was something that struck a match, let me know what it was. Let me know in what way that played out. This is an interesting time to... I'll put it this way, okay, I've told the story in every reading, but I think it's really important. It's just a little tiny one. But if we think about the potential for this aspect, for this configuration, in terms of being in Taurus, which is the land and is Earth, in Australia, we experienced the not the first, it's been a very long road, but a real decisive, direct movement forward in terms of Indigenous voice to Parliament. There's a beautiful beginnings of potential here. And so that fire starter, that revolution, that sort of release from the systems that bound us before, and the commitment that our very new government has made on many different facets, but this one in particular had a lot to do, I think it was felt in quite a passionate way by many. So I explained that to you just in terms of the potential for these aspects and these configurations, these journeys of the planets upstairs, the potential for forward movement and for positivity. That's the wrong word, positivity. Progress. They don't always have to be. We never should fear the planets. We never should fear the astrology, but this was just a lovely example of working with the energy and seeing the results for the collective. So what about you, Gemini? What's going on there? And how is that having a sort of forced or pressurized relationship with the spaces of mind expansion and learning and teaching and philosophy? what parts of you, and this could be to do with your, study of astrology or of the tarot, but the ninth house is where Aquarius is for you. So this is all about mind expansion, travel. Remember Chiron, the stories I told about Chiron, all of those principles of Chiron are to do with the ninth house. So the moon is in Aquarius in the ninth for you. This is a great moment for you to release any potential shortcomings that you might be feeling, or if there was a course of study that you weren't able to do, or if there was perhaps a journey that you wanted to make that you couldn't do, then it's time to release that and know that, it will come when it needs to. Or this is a time of celebration if you've just come off the back of a real journey, that where you were the teacher, you were the guide, and you were doing it, Aquarius, for the greater consciousness and for healing on a sort of more communal scale. Then this moon would be a great time for you to bask in that achievement and to let go of some of that weight. That might be a way to work with this Aquarius new moon. And I guess the relationship between that, so between philosophy, your philosophies, and between the blaze of the dreams, there's a link there, isn't there, between the ninth and the 12th in a lot of ways. Right now it's sort of pressurized. And I would also remind you to think about Saturn as well, because this is almost like a full Saturn, because Saturn's in almost direct conjunction with the moon, and the sun in Leo is bursting its light to the moon, giving us that lovely full lunation. It's also lighting up Saturn beautifully, and Saturn's great at boundaries. So there might be something in regard to your philosophies or your school of teaching or learning right now, your quest for knowledge, that requires a bit of boundary setting. Perhaps there was experiences that you had that were maybe too liminal or too connected to the unconscious. Perhaps you scared yourself, and you need to sort of remember that boundaries are essential. The moon is at 19 degrees of Aquarius right now. The tarot card for that is the Six of Swords. And so this card is a direct discussion, a direct emblem of boundaries. If you remember that the swords represent air, which is our thoughts. This is messages, it's our intelligence. It's sometimes, if we have too many swords, they're double-edged, it can be detrimental to our health because we're sort of caged by or trapped by our mind. This card represents an activated choice to turn our backs on something turbulent. Notice the water here, choppy, turbulent water, our emotions, in order to search out something that is clear and stable and a moment to reflect. I think of the word reflection a lot when I look at this card because of all of that flat water. So in the way that you have been experiencing, your position either as teacher or student, it could work either way. It could be both. Remember, a good teacher is always learning. So whatever it is that needs to be released from that space, to be set down, activate the Six of Swords energy and really take that journey, take that moment away from the hidden the books or the extra study or the expectations of your students, something like that. If you read tarot, and I would highly recommend that you do if you don't, not that I'm a pusher, but I think that it's an open source resource for emotional literacy, and everybody can learn it, and you don't have to learn it like, I have done, and it's a life's work. Every card you can spend as much time as you need to on it, trying to understand the mysteries, and you'll probably never come to the end point because it evolves with us. The language of the tarot is so human in the way that its evolution moves with us. Anyway, but I would suggest that if you do have tarot, might be a good thing to work with this card the night of the full moon in Aquarius, and maybe to sleep with it, pop it under your pillow to allow some of that 12th house combustion to give it the message that, we see you and we hear you and we're grateful for the messages, but right now we're going to practice our boundaries and to take a time out. Oh, I'm coming to the end of my reading roster and my throat's going a little dry, so I do apologize if I sound like Patty and Selma. But some intuitive tarot, please, Spirit. Just 3 cards, please, to send Gemini off on their blissful dance with that full moon. How gorgeous. Got the World first up. Congratulations, Gemini. Well done. That's the direct message there. Well done. I can't imagine what you've been sinking your teeth into. Aha, very interesting and very pertinent. Look what I got. The 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords. So here's our moon. And you can see again, it's the same, it's the active decision to move away from the choppy water into the space of clearing. And this 6 of Pentacles card, actually, interestingly enough, is the point in the zodiac where this triple conjunction is. So this card is about sort of having enough and sharing when you are abundant. And that could be in any matter of different ways that you can explain it. But there's something to do with, I don't know if it's even like your output. There's something that you're being encouraged to receive the congratulations and receive the acknowledgement of the beautiful work that you have done, and set those boundaries and move along, because your output and what you've perhaps been working with in dreamland, in the unconscious, perhaps what you've been calling on, all of this revolution, this fire, to give to others, to share with them, to encourage them forward and to encourage them to move with you. Enough is enough. Congratulations, darling. You've done the job. Now it's time to take a rest stop, take a moment to yourself, because remember the boundaries. I think, and maybe in the work that you've been doing, or maybe in the lengths of which you've been willing to travel for this mind expansion, for this study, perhaps the unconscious is telling you to fill up your gas tank again, because you've been so giving with the energy, and you've been moving the mountains, and you've been creating the discoveries all around you. You've been inviting this energy through you to come and express itself and to enlighten others. Tell me if I'm wrong, Gemini, in the comments below. But this is what I'm kind of feeling in this reading. The World card, when it shows up, gives us this beautiful moment it's the universe saying, well done. What a beautiful lesson. What a beautiful end of a cycle that you've reached. How marvelous. And what beautiful lessons that you have learned and shared. And now is the time to rebalance and to regroup. If you notice here on the World card too, it's just come to and it's not with every card, on this particular World card, we have Leo, Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, all fixed energy. And this is the energy that we're working with right now with this full moon, so the sun's in Leo, the moon's in Aquarius, the north node in Uranus are in Taurus, which then means the south node is in Scorpio. And also the eclipses are happening on that point. So this is telling me that through much turbulence and through much, energetic power and huge shifts that have been happening for you, and you've been really able to activate them and to really work with the energy and the lessons that you've discovered, perhaps through the Taurus Scorpio eclipses, which aren't over yet. They're July 23, or with this conjunction, or Leo season itself. It's an absolute moment for you to bask in Luna's light and take the moment to yourself. I mean, it's, if you've got a coven, then by all means reach out to them. But I think that in a lot of ways, the full moon's a great excuse I don't like to be around people when there's a full moon just because of the emotional shifts that happen and the movement in our emotional bodies. I like to be alone or with someone. Anyway, in the words of Patsy Stone, congratulate yourself, Eddie. Yeah, congratulate yourself again, Eddie. Well done. That's the reading for you, Gemini. And I think that, hopefully that there's been some, hopefully there's a moment for you to stop and breathe and reflect and be proud of yourself. Remember, it's a Leo sun we're working with, so that pride is still there, we're working with that energy now. That's your reading. If you wanted to give me some tip money, you're always more than welcome to over at buymeacoffee.com/Uma Ruby. That's the place to, fill up my tip jar. If you wanted your birth chart read, then umaruby.com is the place to do it. There's a menu there and there's options of journeys that we can go, many different roads we can go down. I use the tarot and I use astrology too, and we meld them together. I've had a beautiful week of discovery with a lot of new friends, people that I didn't know before, and now I would consider them to be great friends. And the discoveries that happen in exchange can be quite remarkable. So if that was something you're interested in, head over to umaruby.com. Until I see you in 2 weeks for the new moon in Virgo, I love you, Gemini. Congratulations again, Eddie. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.